Živjo, welcome. My name is Ivy, and let's set up and look at all of the books that I read in the month of September. And please do write down any books that you've been reading now that it's fall. Do you have any favorite books? What books did you read, or what kind of fall into this autumn season? I read 4 books, and the last one was already in October when I finished it, I think 1st of October. And the reason is I don't know, was it a reading slump, or because I was going into a certain book knowing it's gonna be heavy, and you're gonna see which book I'm talking about. So I read a lot of different genres in this one. I really like doing this. Reading just one in the same genre would just drain me, and it's good to switch it up. So here with my calendar, I decided for the first time to use different color for a different book, so to know when I started and when I finished the book. And honestly, for once it does look better. But I think I made a mistake by cutting that side a little bit too much. Maybe I should have just a little bit so that the calendar could have been a little bit bigger. But I will have that in mind for next time. Also, I did try to do this journal a little bit different. I cut a little bit of the paper and all that. It doesn't look very good. You will see, but I was trying to do a little bit different, and also I saw or noticed that I'm going to have a lot of pages left for this notebook, and I okay, let's try mixing things up, try something else. And yeah, let's just say I did take a lot of pages. It looks okay, just the way I cut those pages that I wanted to be you'll see. But it's just horrible. It doesn't look so good. But yeah, for this month I read 4 books. Like I said, almost didn't. It was really not a good reading month. I could have maybe read another book in September, but it just wasn't going. I don't know why. And yeah, I decided to try a little bit, and I printed out the icons for if I read a book, ebook, and yeah, I didn't read much or listened actually to any audiobooks. I noticed that the only audiobooks I listened were 2 romance audiobooks, and that was mostly during summertime. I mean, it's fine. I think it's great when you don't have the time to read, but I don't know, you do something around the house and you can listen to audiobooks. I think that's fantastic. But I kind of need, I mean, the way what I noticed, I think romance books are really nicely done as audiobook. So far what I noticed anyway. But yeah, this is my little setup, and right now we are about to go to our very first book that I read in September. Okay, and we are starting with the first book, and here you can see what I meant when I said that I made a little changes and how I want to do the journaling for the books. And yeah, you'll see that it I mean, it looks fine, but there are problems and it doesn't look really cute. But let's talk about the first book. This book I got from my cousin, and it is Every Last Fear. It's a thriller, crime, mystery, psychological, and warning, it's very depressing, honestly. So imagine this, that you just go to your, you're in college, you're partying and all that, and you come home, like you think it's all normal, but then you find not exactly a message, but someone comes from the FBI to tell you that your entire family has been killed. And some say it was a freak accident because of a certain gas leak that happened in the vacation home that his family was in Mexico. And now it seems that it's not an accident. They were murdered, and whoever did it is after you as well. It's not a good thing to look like this. So this is what happened to our character Matt. So the only one who he still has as a family is his grandfather, who has dementia, his aunt, who doesn't live in the same place they live now, and his older brother, who is in prison for the crime he didn't commit. And actually this entire thing is all about the crime that his brother apparently did, but he wasn't. It was so messed up how the police interrogated him and to confess into something that he didn't do, because whoever did it is, as usual, someone who has power and is going to protect certain someone. I don't want to tell you. But yeah, they are going with every length to shut you up. His family, for the 7 years that happened, and his brother Danny being in the prison, they're trying to find every evidence they can to prove his innocence. And it just backfired when they finally found out like a clue or something, and that's the reason why his family was murdered. It was gripping. It was really not okay. Imagine that you have to go to Mexico to sign papers so that you can get the bodies of your family. Like, oh my God, I don't think I would be able to do that, but you have to. Like I said, this was a little bit depressing, but it was still okay. It was still okay. Alright, second book, Dark Romance. I am finishing the Maid series. This is the third book, The Darkest Temptation. Like I said, dark romance, adult, you know. Okay. Yeah. I don't know why they do this, the authors. Like, can you write your female characters a little better? Like, I'm trying to understand our girl Mila. Since she's 20 years old, her father has been like keeping a secret from her, her dad having a second family in Russia, and she wanted to surprise her father to go there, and she then finds out that people are looking at her a little bit different, and that is because she is the spitting image of her mother, and her mother wasn't exactly just an opera singer, but she was a very bad person. Yeah, and so since the word of her being in Russia came out, of course the enemy of her father captured her. But let me just say his name, Ronan, he didn't like just attack her or anything, he like befriended her. And Mila is just portrayed so naively. She's such a naive girl, but like I said, I try to understand she's 20 years old and all that. She's being sheltered and all that, okay. But no, like when she was captured, like really captured by Ronan, like she cannot escape. She's in his house, in that room, locked up. She constantly keeps telling herself, I won't be naive anymore. I won't trust any word that he's... And she still does it. And when she does a mistake, and she knows there will be consequences, then she tries to apologize to him. Like, and she keeps doing that, and kind of pisses me off. Again, I did enjoy this book. There are some nice moments, like Ronan doesn't know much when it comes to like love. You know, the typical mafia romance. And so she's kind of like teaching him, letting him feel and all that. But no, I don't really like their dynamic. But what I did like is that Ronan is the older brother, I believe, from Christian. or Christian, which would be the right way to say in Russian, from the second book. And the second book is, again, still my favorite one. The first one and this one, the third one, no, don't feel it. The authors really need to pay attention, not just to make one character desirable just because he's a man and hot. Make the female characters just as interesting. Make something out of her. Stop making them so easy, please, and naive, and all of that jazz, please. Other than that, I still enjoyed this book. It's a 3.5 stars. Like I said, still enjoyed it. Just the reason why it's just 3.5 is because the female character is not written well. And this is the book what I was like preparing myself to read. I read from this author, the book was called The Island last year, and oh boy, that book did not let me sleep. It was constantly on my mind. It was one hell of a thriller book. And this one, The Chain, just as much, but I like The Island a little bit. But here we go. So this is a thriller, crime, suspense. So imagine this, that you receive a call that someone has kidnapped your child. And in order for you to get the child, you are now part of the chain. If you're asking yourself, what is this chain? Do you ever remember, I don't know if this is still happening or not, but when you get that message on your phone, like, send this to 5 people and you will something wonderful will happen to you. If not, you have bad luck or something like that, and you need to send it to 5 people. That's the chain. Just here, it's with people, with your emotions and stress and trauma. So yeah, the call you get, your daughter is or your child is taken, doesn't matter. And what they want from you is to do the same. They will tell you how much. This is, I don't know if I can say this is fair, but okay. They know how much you as a person can handle financially. They won't like tell you to, oh, you need to give us like $1 million when they know you can't do it. They will at least give you that much. They know that you can afford, and you won't be on zero. So I guess that's kind of fair. I mean, it's still effed up. So you need to pay a certain amount of money, and then it's your job to kidnap a child. That's right, that's the chain. You need to kidnap someone else's child. And then once you did that, you need to call that child family and tell them, yeah, we got your kid. You're now part of the chain. This is what you have to do. And let's say the people that called you and you did everything, like you paid the money and you kidnapped a kid. That family that called you, they received their child back and they can move back to their life, if you can call that moving back to your life. So you now have to wait for that other family to pay up and kidnap a child so you can receive your child back. That's the chain, and it is just so messed up. The amount then you actually learn the things like I said, the trauma and everything that's going on, and can you really live with that you kidnapped someone else's child? Can you even do something like that? It was a great read. Certain things I didn't like agree or didn't feel like, or but it was still a good book. But I do kind of like The Island a lot more. But it's still wonderful read. I do recommend. And finally, I am reading this book, and it is Butcher and Blackbird. This is also dark romance, thriller, and oh boy, there's a lot happening here. I like that it is slow paced. It doesn't go like jump to sex immediately. No. It actually takes years for these two to get along and get to that point, which is fine, totally fine. So who we have here? We have Sloane, who is the orb weaver. That's what they call her because she just plugs out your eye socket and leave you there. Basically, she is a serial killer who kills other serial killers. and she was in a predicament. She could have died, and she meets the butcher, who he was kind of fascinated with her work, and he finally meets her. And let's just say he is madly in love with her at first sight. So they had this agreement that once a year his brother is going to pick a target, and they have to go there to basically kill that target. And I think they made it like a game, who will get that person first. And to them that was fine. It was a game, it was a thrill and all that, but in all of that is happening, of course there was attraction. Butcher, or Rowan, he is a chef. He has his own restaurant, and I mean the name kind of tells it, you know, like butcher and all that. But he has his own method of killing, and he can be really unhinged. One mistake when they been on their 1 year game is they left someone alive, who in the end could have been their end. Let me just say the sexy thingy is quite sexy, so quite spicy. So be warned about that if you're not into it. But yeah, it gets hot, okay? I love this. I really like this book. And this is the winner of this month. If you're totally like, this is what I mean when it comes to dark romance and writing your female character. She wasn't such a bad written character. She was quite strong. Even though she did show her vulnerable side, she was still strong. While in the Maid series, female characters were very poorly written, specifically the first and third book. This one I like. I can't wait for the other two books to read. I'm really excited. I do recommend, even though you're reading about serial killers, murder, and falling in love. I had a good time. Now, I didn't film of me like for my monthly favorite book that I was reading, because I forgot to print out the picture for that book. So we're just checking. This is the end result of my reading journal setup and all the books that I've read. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Ciao ciao!